Hello and welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining for this really exciting webcam webinar on corporate burnout to wellness. So, we're going to be talking over the next 90 minutes. And as you're popping on, please jump into the chat box and say hello. I'm hoping that you can hear me and see me okay. And I'll pop something in the chat box. And if you can hear, thumbs up if everything's going to plan. So without further ado, let's get into the presentation for tonight. So we're going to talk all about corporate burnout, going from burnout to wellness, because it's such a huge topic. It's a huge issue. And to make the most out of this session, it will be great if you can participate actively in the chat, take as many notes as possible, put on your full screen and remove any distractions. And I will keep checking on the comments. So if you put in a comment, I will try to answer it as we go. Otherwise, I'll circle back at the end. So if you're watching this, you've been drawn to this webinar because you're in some stage of burnout. And remember, burnout varies from being really mild, maybe a bit of anxiety, a bit of fatigue, a bit of exhaustion, right through to being totally debilitated by it and really lost your mojo. So what we want to happen is going from being fatigued, exhausted, having more energy and vitality, and having more time in the day to do what lights you up, what really brings joy to you. And today, this webinar is all about me saying to you that as a corporate leader experiencing burnout, this webinar is going to help you to shed a bit of light onto where you're at on your burnout journey. And remember, being attracted to this, you've been attracted for a reason. So the question I ask it is, what if you could change your relationship with burnout? Imagine what your life would look like if you had more energy, more clarity. You didn't have the brain fog. You didn't have the fatigue, the insomnia, the exhaustion, the lack of motivation. Just imagine, close your eyes for a second and imagine what that life would look like for you. And just feel into it, because part of moving through this is being aware of how you currently feel and how you want to feel and how you can feel. So as you're imagining this life, imagine if you didn't have any brain fog and you could start seeing clearly and effortlessly. So today I'm going to talk about going from corporate burnout to wellness without the woohoo. Many people refer to looking at managing your health holistically as being woohoo. And I'm here to help take that sense of woohoo out of things, because I've been in the corporate burnout and I really wish that I knew then what I know now. So I'm going to share my experiences, my journey, my knowledge, my wisdom with you so that hopefully it can prevent you from having to go through the pain and torture that many of us have gone through. So what is it that's making this webinar different to probably many that you've listened to or watched before? I'm going to talk about corporate burnout from a different perspective, from a different lens. And I'm going to explain to you how and why energy plays such a huge role in setting yourself free from burnout. And it's about doing business differently, taking a holistic approach, going from the old paradigm of business, which is very 3D, it's very ego and controlled, it's very task orientated, it's very masculinated energy, moving into what we call the 5D paradigm, which is all about having fun, setting boundaries, being clear, being expansive, following your heart, being passionate about what you do. And so there's quite a difference from the energies. And so throughout the webinar, we'll talk a bit about that as well. And the model that I use is about refocusing. It's about re-energizing and reinventing yourself, because to move out of burnout, to transition out of burnout to wellness, you need to shift your mindset. You need to start coming from a different perspective. So a recent article that I read, excuse me, was talking about the huge concern at this moment in time for senior level women who are calling it quits in their corporate role after decades of climbing the career ladder. It was only last week that YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki announced, hope I pronounced that right, she announced that she was leaving the company to start a new chapter, focusing on her family, her health, and her personal projects that she is truly passionate about. And she's not the only one. That announcement just came a few days after Meta confirmed that their chief business officer, Marnia Levine, is stepping down after 13 years with her company in order to recharge and prioritize some quality time with her family before going on to her next professional chapter. She's the third female in the C-suite of leaders to leave Meta in recent years. And that was following Sheryl Sandberg in 2022 and global ad chief Caroline Everson in 2021. So what does this mean? It means that it's really increasing the gender disparity, which large organizations have been trying for a long time to close and bring more females into these senior leadership positions. But what a lot of senior female leaders are doing now is just saying they've had enough, nothing's changing, and their health suffering, their relationships are suffering, their family life suffering, and they've got to a point in their life where they don't want to be doing that anymore. They really want to be having fun. They want to be in that 5D energy, this new paradigm of business where you can have the balance of lifestyle, of business, of career, and you can have that balance so that you can enjoy all of it. Because we've come into this life to work, but we've come in to have fun as well. So it's about getting that balance. And more of us are waking up now to really being part of that. So some other research I was reading said 47% of employees have quit their job in the last year because the job has negatively affected their wellness and their well-being. And 57% are considering quitting to find a better role that suits their well-being so that they can have that lifestyle balance. So we're going to talk a bit today about why we need to do business differently. And the question you can ask yourself is, are you up to change? Do you want to change? Because to change, you have to open your mindset up. You have to have a shift of the way that you think. And just because up until this point, you've always done things the way that you've done them, it's about moving forward to transition out of burnout, is about doing life differently. It's about doing business differently. It's about viewing your career and your job prospects differently, because to want to make a difference, you want to have fun doing the work and love what you're doing, be passionate about it, so that you can jump out of bed every morning feeling excited about the job that you're doing, about the difference that you're going to make each day, and having the energy to do it, but also to walk away from your job at the end of the day and having energy to spend time with friends, family, to go out to a show, to maybe do some exercise, go for a walk, or maybe it's just to smell the roses. And it's time now for us to stop being stuck, going round and round in circles, like we're on that hamster wheel, same old, day in, day out. And all it leads us to is exhaustion, fatigue, and a real demotivation and no sense of satisfaction in our life. So some research done by Deloitte found across 4 countries found that workers were dealing with all kinds of issues related to burnout and well-being. And 43% of this study found that workers reported being exhausted always or often. Now that's almost half of the workforce. 42% of them said that they were always stressed, and 35% were just overwhelmed. And out of all of those people, 23% openly admitted to being depressed and being on some kind of medication. So that's alarming statistics, because we know that when we are depressed, when we're anxious, when we're overwhelmed, when we're exhausted, fatigued, we're not sleeping properly, we know that we don't work as well because we're not as sharp as we should be. We struggle to think clearly because we've got the brain fog. So we start not doing our job as well as we should, which puts more pressure on us, because most of us want to do a really good job. And when we know that we're not coming up to the mark, we put more pressure on ourselves and beat ourselves up. So if this is sounding familiar, comment in the chat box. And I guess to give you some hope, we know, for those of you who know Dr. Joe Dispenza or Deepak Chopra, these people are doing extraordinary amounts of research with neuroscience, and they can now identify that the research shows that we've got the ability to rewire our brains and change our life. So the good news is that we don't need to live in this state of burnout, of overwhelm, of exhaustion, because science is now showing that we are all energy and vibration. And when we start to look at ourselves as energy beings, as opposed to a condition or a complaint that we may have, such as anxiety or depression, insomnia, exhaustion, then when we start to look at energy, because our thoughts are the first thing that influences our physical body, the science has shown that when we shift the way that we think, we shift the way that energy in our body flows, how it circulates, how our vibration vibrates in our body, and how we react to that. Because if we are anxious, depressed, fearful, unhappy, then science shows us that we vibrate at a low frequency, which is more exhausting. Whereas the science shows if we are having fun, if we are really happy, if we're passionate about what we're doing, our vibration is much, much higher, which means that we have more energy, we're more motivated, we're happier, and we can do more in less time. So it's super exciting that the neuroscience is now coming to validate what a lot of us have known but couldn't validate it, but now we've got the science to validate it. So as I'm going through this, so part of this webinar, to be transparent, I will be making an offer at the end of the webinar for you to help you create a plan to transition from burnout to wellness in 3 months. And because that's what I've done, so I know that it can be done if you're prepared to put your hand up and do the work. And this offer is going to be around about $2,000. And I'll guide you through my process step by step so that you can get clarity, so that you can see what your passion is, what your purpose is, what your why is, and transition through from corporate burnout to wellness and really take control of the life that you deserve and the life that you've come here to live. So if it's okay with you, I'll show you the exact steps that I took, the results that I got, and some of the results that my clients got as well. So firstly, who am I? So I started my career as a registered nurse. I went on to do a postgrad in mental health because the physical human body really intrigued me. But once I'd learned that, it was the mind, it was our behaviors that I really wanted to get a grasp of, because I felt I'd only got half the information, the knowledge that I needed. And then I went from there to studying to be a naturopath. And then during that time, I became an energy healer. I became a Reiki master. I became certified as a practitioner of the Akashic Records, which is where you work in the quantum field, which is all the work that Dr. Joe Dispenza does in that quantum field. And along my journey, I became a corporate executive in the mining industry, in the oil and gas industry. And I left that industry having been the head of health for a multi-million-dollar health project across Queensland. So I left that world exhausted and burnt out. So I want to give you tips and tools so that you don't need to become totally burnt out and exhausted the way that I did, because you want to have fun, and you can have more fun doing what you love, but getting that balance. So now I predominantly mentor female leaders, corporate executives, so that they can get that balance, so that they can bring back the health and the wellness into their life. And I'm also a mum, a granny, an auntie, and for a while I was a sister, but she passed away. So, I'm the same as everyone else. And you may say, well, what makes me different? To help other women to really advance in their careers, in their life, and to get that balance, to find joy, to be happy, to be expansive, and to really create and manifest their dreams and desires. So my Excuse me, I just have a drink of water. So my unique point of difference is I'm a holistic body, mind, and spirit mentor. And what does that mean? It means that I don't look at signs and symptoms of, you know, fatigue, exhaustion, overwhelm. I look at the body, the mental component, the physical component, the spiritual component, the mental component, and look at the energy that's working around the body that's creating these symptoms that's coming into the physical experience. And so I spend a lot of time working in the quantum field to help my clients heal and begin to manifest what it is that they want in their life. Because when you understand how our thoughts influence our behaviors, then we can change that and create health and success um, in our life. And so most of my clients have gone on to become really good friends of mine. And I was going to share my screen and stream some testimonials that I have, but I can't seem to find the screen share bit. So I guess I'll just talk you through it. So one of my clients who um, has been a client and a friend now for over 6 years. And when we first worked together, her name was Jessica. I had never met her before, and she came up to me at a trade stall that I was at one of these expos, a conference, and she said, I don't know what I need to learn from you, but I'm feeling drawn to you. And she had come out the corporate world. She was just setting up her business as a marketing and brand guru, and she was just needing a bit of direction. And after a couple of conversations, we ended up um, doing a discovery session, unpacking, what she was looking for, where she was at, where she wanted to go, what her dreams and desires were. And we started to pull it all together, create a plan, and we done lots of energy work, which helped her heal at her soul level. And the more that she healed, the more that she got the clarity to really move forward in her business. And I'm so excited and pleased to say that, over the years, she's managed to create a multi-million-dollar business. And she continues to work with me to work on strengthening her energetic perspective of how she does her business. And she's also incorporated a holistic process in her practice as well, so that she now teaches her clients what she was taught, so that they can grow and expand and have that life balance. But predominantly, it was bringing the health back into her sphere of influence that really allowed her to take quantum leaps in her business, in her life. And so hearing things like that is really exciting to validate that what the work that we're doing is super powerful and does work if you're prepared to put in the effort and the work that's required in it. So also in 2021, for validation, I guess, that the work that I'm doing, is being measured and is being noticed. I was the winner in the Business Excellence Awards for the Health and Wellness category for 2021, and super proud of that, because it was an award that was Australia wide, and to be a young business. I think I was 3 years old in business at that time. And to receive that award was super humbling and super grateful for it. So the other thing that I wanted to mention, that if you're here listening to this webinar, and if you stay until the end of the webinar, the offer that I'm going to offer, you'll also receive 3 additional bonuses valued at over $6,000, because I only work with a small group of people at a time. So from this webinar, I'll only be working with 5 people to work one-on-one with me, because we do so much energy work that I need to look after my own energy as well. So to give 100% to my clients means that I only work with small amounts of clients at a time. So how did I go from corporate burnout to wellness? I was no one special. I just the same as everyone else, but I never really fitted in. Um, I was in my 30s before I went to uni. Even though I was a registered nurse, I'd done the diploma. I hadn't got my degree, and there was this nagging thought in my head that I needed to get a degree to be worthy of of the work I do. Um, and I was always beating myself up about it, always feeling that everyone was better, more successful than me. And I know many of my clients tell me this as well, and you might be listening to this going, yeah, you feel like that as well. But we create this story in our own heads that it's kind of like the grass is always greener on the other side. But because I mentioned earlier that, what we think, we create in our reality. And because I'd spent years and years thinking everyone was better than me, everyone was cleverer than me, everyone was more important, more worthy than me. That's a story that ran through me for a large part of my life. But there was something deep inside me that knew that my life wasn't meant to be mediocre. It wasn't meant to be ordinary. I felt like I was here to be extraordinary in my zone of genius. So I wanted more. And as a high achiever, which I'm sure many of you on this call are, I felt like a failure as I knew I could do better. I wanted to do better. But what was holding me back was I was always comparing myself to other people around me. And what I know now is we're all unique, we're all different, we've all got our own purpose, our own passion. So when we compare ourselves to others, it's like you're comparing an apple with an orange, and you can't compare them. So it took me many years to really work that out, to really understand that I was good enough. But I had to do a lot of work on myself, and I had to put a lot of processes in place so that I didn't relapse as well. And that brings me to understanding what our passion is, what our why is. And for me, my why is my family. So I've got 2 grown up kids, I've got 2 beautiful grandchildren. Between us, we've got 3 amazing dogs. We've got a schnauzer, we've got a French bulldog, we've got a wolfhound, and I'm sure we'll have more in the years to come. And I come from Scotland. I come from just outside of Edinburgh. So culturally, I'm still very connected to Scotland. However, I've been in Australia for more years than grew up in Scotland. So Australia is kind of my home as well. And I've been so fortunate to reap the benefits of both countries both energetically, physically, and culturally. So I feel really blessed about that. But my drive and force is around helping people to create a healthy foundation so that they can get the life balance, the work balance, the career balance, so that they can excel, so that they can really tap into their soul blueprint, their wellness blueprint, their energetic blueprint, their reason for being here, so that they can have fun, they can have joy, they can find their purpose, and they can excel in that with ease and flow and gratitude, and go into overflow so that everything in their life just flows, and there's an abundance of all things that they desire, because life's not meant to be hard. We make it hard by comparing ourselves with others, by going into imposter syndrome, by imagining that we're not good enough, that we're not special enough, that we're not clever enough, and creating all this dialogue that's only in our heads, and it's not true. So I encourage you to really start taking down notes about, what is your why? What is the legacy that you want to leave? I do one of the things I'm really proud of was back in 2018, I was a volunteer for one of the medical teams on the Commonwealth Games that was held in Queensland in 2018. And there was a whole crew of us in the medical team and it was such amazing fun. We had great fun. Fortunately, there wasn't any major injuries, and what I got from that was how happy everyone was to be part of this extended community, cheering others on, supporting others, having conversations with random strangers, but having the commonality of sport and leisure and community. And it really made an impact on me. And I think the more that we can give, the more we get in return, because my life certainly became a lot richer after that incredible experience. So today's not about me. Today's about female leaders, corporate executives who are fed up going round in circles, doing the same old, being exhausted, pushing through, never having enough time, never having enough energy, never being able to come up for air, constantly pushing the boundaries all the time. And kind of, it's like driving a car, isn't it? You're holding on to the steering wheel so tight that your knuckles are white because you're frightened to let go of the control of the processes that you've set up, the stakes that you've set yourself, which are so high. You're frightened to let go in case you fall apart. But I want to show you today that it's possible to leave burnout behind. And if you want to just pop in the comment box if that's you, if you want to achieve this. Are you fed up being exhausted and overwhelmed? Yeah. Hands up if you lack time, energy, clarity to get on with your life. Or it might even be your poor health is holding you back in life. So today's all about saying yes. Yes to no more corporate burnout. Giving yourself permission to look through a different lens and being open to doing business and life differently. And it starts with creating awareness of who you are and prioritizing you. And for many females, especially, it's really difficult to put ourselves first because we're not used to putting ourselves first because we're wives, we're mothers, we're sisters, we're aunties, whatever it is. And we always put other people in front of us. We always put others in front of us, saying that they're more important. However, this new paradigm of doing business, so that we don't get stuck in this burnout experience, is to look after ourselves, to nurture ourselves. And then the more that we do that, the more that we can give to others, so that we are not given or trying to give from an empty tank, but we filled our tank so that we've got plenty to share. So, my mission is to help female leaders prevent burnout, have a strong, healthy foundation, and follow your passion by creating a life that you truly desire, that you dream about. And this is all possible by unlocking our unique codes that are within us, within our soul. And we can do that by lots of processes, but it starts with really starting to get aware of who we are, what we want, where are we at, and what is it that we need to do to take the next step forward. And I remember a few years ago, in the early days when I set up my business, and a client came to see me, and she was a really senior position. She was um, a chief financial officer in a global company, and she was just exhausted and couldn't really articulate herself that well. So we had our initial consult, and then a few days later, I got a call from her husband to say she's been in bed for 3 days. I'm really worried about her. So we started working with her, and what had happened was she had become so exhausted, so overwhelmed, so unmotivated. She was struggling to articulate what was going on, and she just took to bed and just did not have the energy to talk, to think, to do anything. And there she was, just curled up in bed for 3 days. So when we started unpacking what was going on and what she was thinking and how she was feeling, and we got to, the nitty gritty of what was actually going on, what did she think of herself, and started to reframe her identity, because we talked earlier about, we play out the story that we're not good enough, we're not clever enough, we're not as good as the next person. You know, who am I to think I'm worthy? And this was the dialogue that was going on in her head. So we gradually worked through that, and because she was in such a exhausted state, we called in other support team to help, support her in other modalities as well. And gradually, she started bringing the joy back into her life. She did actually leave the job that she was in. She took a few months off, done a lot of work on herself. Um, because she was also going through early stages of menopause, which brings its own challenges. And when you add that to the corporate burnout and the fatigue, and you bring in all these other physical symptoms of what happens in our bodies when we go through menopause, it just knocked her for six. So she got a lot of support in all different areas, took the time to really nurture and heal herself. And then gradually she started to gain clarity on what she really wanted, what lit her up, and stop living in other people's shadows, doing things, saying things, being someone that she wasn't, because she was a people pleaser, wanted to please the people around her. And she gave herself that space to come up for air. She gave herself permission to honor what her body needed and also what she wanted to do in her life. And she went on to a few other jobs since then, but it's been stepping stones in her career, and she's managed to go through the process of climbing the corporate ladder even further and being more successful, but maintaining a healthy relationship with our partner, with our kids, with our friends, and having much more of a life balance. And so, and I've got many clients who have similar stories. So I know that, it works. And I'm going to share 3 steps with you today that I do know that works, because not only have I done it, but so many of my clients have really improved and got their life back on track in ways that they couldn't have imagined. So the 3 steps that I'm going to share with you today are, around why corporate burnout is a problem for us. Why is it huge? And we can start to look at that by refocusing how we look at life, how we look at our career, how we look at our job. And the second step is the fallout from the corporate world, losing all these senior female leaders because they're exhausted, because they don't have the life balance, because they don't have time to spend with their family. And that's all about reinventing yourself and really getting clarity around who you are, what you want, and what brings you joy. And the third step is about our DNA. It holds the key to our wellness blueprint. It holds the codes to activating our wellness blueprint inside us. And we're going to learn how to activate this. And when we do this, we re-energize ourselves, we revamp ourselves. And so then we can start to explore the physical symptoms that exacerbate exhaustion, that keeps you in burnout. And you'll find here in this step your unique point of difference. Now, obviously, in 90 minutes, we're not going to get to the nitty gritty. And that's why when I explain what I'm offering today, a super low cost, it will show you how just in a few days, you can really start turning your life around. So when I left the corporate world, I took time out to heal, to find myself, to really find my passion, what lit me up, what made me jump out of bed in the morning, really excited about my day with lots of energy and vibrancy. And, I just wanted to sprinkle my magic dust on everyone. And I stopped listening to others who told me what they thought I should do. And when you constantly get told what you should do, you start forgetting to think for yourself and dismissing what it is that makes you happy. So I stopped listening to all this input, and I created a plan to do what I love, listing down what I love, how I feel when I'm doing what I love, what I'm passionate about, and how I feel when I can help people make a difference in their life and others. And so it was pretty easy, because when you're passionate about something, when you love what you do, it's very easy to do it. It just flows. And that's where I found my unique point of difference. I found my genius, my area of genius. And when I'd done that, my health improved, my attitude, my mindset improved, my relationships improved, my creativity just became on fire, and money flowed, much easier into my life, whereas before I'd been kind of controlled by money. If I don't stay in this job, I'm not going to get the paycheck, and I'm not going to be able to pay my bills and have the lifestyle that I want. But there was nothing further from the truth. Once I got into my flow, found my passion, done the work that really brought joy to me, and that I could help others make a difference in their lives, I started attracting like minded people. I started attracting my soulmate clients who were happy to pay abundantly to work with me. And from then on, it just became this self fulfilling process that the more fun I had, the more I shared it with others, the more happier, healthier that they became. And it just snowballed from there. And so leaving the corporate world from that regular paycheck to going into my business where initially there was no paycheck. And, I had to go out and find clients to earn the money, but I shifted my mindset because the focus left from how much money can I earn to how can I be of service and how can I help others. And by shifting my mindset, and the emphasis went off making money to helping and serving, everything just started to flow so much easier. So, secret number one is all about refocus. And why do we need to refocus? Because the World Health Organization declared stress as the health epidemic of the 21st century. They mentioned mental illness is the leading cause of long term sickness absence in Australia, costing approximately $12 billion in absenteeism, reduced productivity, and workers' compensation claims every year. Now, that stat was a couple of years ago, so it will be a lot more than that now. And 45% of Australians, so it's about 1 in 2 Australians in their working life between 60 and 85 years old, will suffer a mental health condition in their lifetime. So I see it as a duty for ourselves to reduce our stress as much as possible so that we can take control of our life, to really take responsibility so that we are not falling into those statistics, so that we're not miserable, so that we're not debilitated, so that we're having fun and having a balance in life and doing what we love to do. So last year, 50% of Australian employees reported feeling burnt out. And this was research that was done post-COVID. And yet this year, the number has jumped to 53%. And the reason being, they attributed poor work-life balances predisposing to burnout, which is directly related to poor productivity. Because we know when we're in burnout, we're more likely to experience lower morale, be less engaged, make more mistakes, miscommunicate, or just don't communicate. We can become isolated, withdrawn. We're more likely to constantly change jobs because we think if we leave that job and go to another one, our burnout will go, but we just really take it with us. And 57% of people are considering quitting their job to find a role that better suits their well-being. So there's a lot of people really in angst about their health and wellness and aware that it's time that they really need to step up and take responsibility. So if you've lost your direction and need to find some clarity to gain that healthy balance, to want more energy, more vitality, then you need to give yourself permission. You need to refocus. You need to become self-aware. You need to open yourself up, to be honest with yourself about what you want. And it puts you in a place of being vulnerable, but it helps you to create space because you let go of heaviness, of baggage that you carry, and old beliefs, old patterns, and you start to create space, and that allows you to have a mindset shift so that you can really focus on what it is that you want. Who are you here to be? What's your passion? What's your why? And it starts with the refocus. It starts with self-awareness. It starts with honoring your worth and really starting to believe that you are worthy, that you are capable, that you're here for a special reason. We all are. And when you start to prioritize yourself on your journey, putting yourself first isn't selfish. It's the only way to heal, to grow, to expand, and to create the life of your desires and your dreams. And self-care strategies, it can be simple. They don't need to be complicated. It's about looking after yourselves. It's about moving your body, whether it's walking every day or going to the gym or stretching or Pilates or yoga or running. Try to be mindful or meditate every day. And it can only, 5 minutes is enough to start with. And it's just allowing you to pull yourself into the present moment, because the more focused you are on what's happening in the here and now, the more that you calm down that nervous system, and so that you just calm yourself down so that you can start thinking clearly. You can start prioritizing for your day. Deep belly breathing is fantastic, especially if you've got a bit of anxiety or you're fearful about something, and just slowing down your breathing, excuse me, allows that anxiety, that anxiousness to just dissipate. And we know that if we practice gratitude each day, the more that we are grateful, the more that we'll receive back. And the more kindness that we have, the more grateful we become, but the more that we're kind to ourselves, then we're kind to others, and then others are kind to the people around them, and we create this ripple effect. And something that many people don't relate with self-care practices is decluttering. So whether it's decluttering your life, whether it's decluttering your home, your room, your drawers, but the more that you declutter, detox, you create more space for more positive things to come into your life. Because when you're exhausted, it's just so difficult to have clear direction. You just can't see the wood for the trees. And it's easy to go into feeling hopeless, that nothing's working, that you're never going to achieve anything. And you need to shift that energy, you need to shake it up. Because if you're in that place where it's just all too hard, then it's going to be really difficult to start. So these simple self-care practices, moving the body, drinking plenty of water in a day, flushing out the toxins, it helps you to move through, getting some clarity, creating some space to start thinking more positive thoughts. The brain fog starts to lift, and you start to let go of that ego and comparisonitis, and you start to give yourself permission to acknowledge that you are capable of doing life differently. So when I left the corporate world and I looked at who I was and how I'd changed in my behaviors, and I realized that my values had become misaligned when I was working in the business, because I'd been working so hard, working huge long hours. I was under the pump all the time. And I was really struggling and pushing myself forward. So the easiest way to survive and keep going was the path of least resistance. So I was just like a sheep following on. But when you realize, when you're clear about what your values are and you're unapologetic for what they are and you're aligned to it and your beliefs, then everything feels right. You start to feel lighter and it feels like a weight's been lifted from your shoulders, and it feels like you can finally start to breathe easier. So when you refocus, you go back to the basics, you strip back the layers, you get clear on who you are and get to know you. And it helps you to let go of the fears, the thoughts, the beliefs that no longer serve you. And you get to claim who you want to be and how you want to do life, and let go of ego and control. So then we move to secret two, which is about reinventing yourself. So when I reinvented myself, I had this aha moment when I stopped trying to be someone I was not. I stopped trying to, or I stopped living in the shadow of these people that I idolized, that I thought they were the ants, pants, the bee's knees, that knew everything, that were the gurus. And I stepped out from behind the shadow of others. And I started to acknowledge, now it took some time, but I started to acknowledge that I was just as clever as the rest of them. And I didn't need to compete with them or to do things the way that they'd done them. I had a voice, and I started to let go of that excess baggage. It was almost like, it was the shadow that surrounded me, the false beliefs. And when I started letting go of that, it was really powerful. And I started to believe in myself and stand in my own power, doing life and business my way, but also getting clear about my message, the message that I wanted to share, the reason that I was here, my why, my uniqueness, and showing up to the world every day as who I was and not who I thought I was or who I should be. And it was by finding my voice and gaining the confidence to use it that my life really started to change. And owning what your uniqueness is and finding your message is so empowering. It's a bit scary as well, but it's fun and it's expansive. And the more fun you're having, the less fearful you become. And the more that you do that and become expansive, you get clarity on what lights you up, and you start to grow in leaps and bounds. And almost instantly you start to see yourself in a different way, and people also start to see you differently as well. And that's the connection that you make, because people start to look at you and go, I don't know what's different about her, but I want a piece of that because it feels good, it feels fun, it feels exciting. So in an energetic way, people around you are giving themselves permission to own that little bit of themselves that you've allowed them to see. And this is where you need to get some support and a plan, because as you unpack, you need to create a plan, a bit of a structure on how you're going to move forward and keep growing. So that's what I done when I left the corporate world. And the more I unpacked, the clearer I got. Then I got more momentum, I got more excited, I got more self-belief, and the energy just came flooding in. But along the way, I made lots of mistakes. I had lots of coaches and mentors who would tell me to do it this way or that way. And I initially done all that, and I did learn lots of things from them. But what was missing in my growth cycle was that by doing things that they told me to do because it had worked for them, started me losing my voice, me losing my vision. And so I had to learn ways to do things that suited my unique way of doing things. and not doing the cookie size cutter, because the energy that we're moving into now with this new paradigm of business is about us all being unique, doing things slightly different. Some people might do it very different, some maybe just a fraction different, but we're moving away from the stock standard way of doing business in the past, because it's not working. And maybe about this time last year, I run a master class, and this lady who came to the master class, and I'd done a lot of talking about be, being reinventing yourself, and she was her name was Caroline, and she was in this startup business creating beautiful bath products, and her business was really struggling, had great products, but over the Christmas period she had or the previous 12 months coming out of COVID, had put on a lot of weight, had been eating badly, they hadn't been exercising, and she'd kind of lost her mojo a bit. And she came along to this master class, and we talked about, who she really wanted to be, and what was her passion, what was her why. And I'd done a few sessions with her after that. And in the last 12 months, her business has grown exponentially. They've taken on, they've hired people to help them distribute their product. They've now gone Australia wide with distributing their products. They were initially only selling in local shops, and now they've got this huge e-commerce business complementing them as well. And that they've managed now to they've done a whole exercise regime, so both her and her partner have lost weight, they're eating much more healthier, they've got more energy, they make sure that 2 days a week at least they go away on their motorbikes, they drive into the country. That's their way of unwinding and relaxing, and they've got such a better balance of life. And you can go onto my website, and she does have a testimonial there that she shares, but she's never looked back. And it was, sometimes it's just a little nudge that you need to stop you going from just a little bit of burnout into the depths of burnout. And it's can be very simple to flick right. So the third secret is re-energize. And remember, I said at the beginning, our DNA holds all the codes to our wellness blueprint. And when we learn how to activate this, we get clarity and vitality. We realize the emotional reasons that cause the physical symptoms that keep us in burnout, because these are heavy, dense energies, and they perpetuate poor health. So the more aware that we get of these, the more that we can let these thoughts and feelings go and replace it with a much lighter, a more happier energy emotion. So finding your unique point of difference is key to claiming your power, your purpose. And why is this important? Finding your passion and your purpose helps you to get balance. It helps you to build your health foundation, to support and nurture the cells in your body so they become healthy. And when you're healthy, you become more expansive, and you allow yourself to have more fun, you have more momentum. And that's when the abundance comes flooding into your life, into your world. So own your uniqueness, identify and claim your uniqueness. It's really important to know your point of difference, because this is your superpower. And when you identify your superpower and take ownership of it, this is when your life, business, and career feel effortless. And when you're doing the things you love, you just start to grow and flourish. And you'll even find that your diet changes and you gravitate to foods that are lighter, that are in season, that feed your soul. Because the more aware you become of who you are, the more aware you become of what your body needs in the form of nutrients as well. So when you're in alignment, everything flows. You're in balance. The cells in your body start to reset, they realign, and they start to heal, and you start to absorb the nutrients from your food much easier. But if you're not aligned, you're in some stage of burnout. And some of those things that you might be feeling is around loss of confidence. You'll be more emotionally vulnerable. You're certainly less motivated, and you're doubting yourself. You're doubting your own value, your own worth. And you start getting health issues because if you're not sleeping right, then you're not eating properly. You're probably eating more comfort foods than healthy foods. You become isolated, you become demotivated. And that's the start of, I call it, dis-ease in the body. And then if it's not dealt with and attended to, then you move into chronic health diseases like cardiac issues, diabetes, cardiovascular issues, autoimmune disease, skin complaints, all, headaches. The list is endless. So rather than put yourself in that mode, you can start to take responsibility for your health now. And the more energy that you put into looking after your health and wellness, the more you will get back. So when you're tired and exhausted, your tank's empty, and it's very difficult to give to others when your tank's empty. But when you're healthy and vital and expansive and energetic, you can just give so much. And you have that ripple effect where you help so many others around you. So, this new paradigm of doing business starts with self awareness and self care, prioritizing you. Being aware of your energy and emotions, your thoughts, allows you to reset, it allows you to align to your unique wellness blueprint, your purpose, your passion, your why. So I could go on and on and on, but time's going marching on. So in summary, three secrets is: one is to refocus, change the way you look at things, become more self-aware, because self-care helps to shift your limiting beliefs. It helps to shift stagnant energy. It helps to move you into a more productive, a more happier space. Number two is reinvent yourself. Do business differently. The old way of doing business is fear based, it's ego driven, leading to burnout. That's one of the reasons we've got so much burnout. The new way of doing business is being self aware. It's about having fun, being aligned, staying present, and looking after you first and then others. Being present, being grateful, being kind. And number three is re energize. When you identify your unique point of difference, your purpose, you align to your wellness blueprint. You're activating the codes within you that are lying dormant, that will give you more clarity, more energy. They'll awaken you to knowing that what is possible, infinite potential and possibility. So the key elements are around our physical, our emotional, our mental state. We need to get to wellness, we refocus, we re energize, we reinvent. And it's all about creating boundaries, having social skills, sticking to integrity. being self-aware leads to self-motivation, and by being present, when you combine all those things, these are the key elements for the new way of doing business. So this is only a small section of the process of transforming from corporate burnout to wellness. And now I'd like to share with you the offer that will help you transition from burnout to improve your health, living a life of joy, fun, happiness, freedom, and abundance with more energy than you could ever imagine. But remember, this offer is optional. And earlier I said that I would only take 5 people to work directly with me. So if this is something that's resonating with you and you're ready to make the commitment and investment now is your chance. So what I might do is let me pop the link into the chat so that if this is something that's resonating with you, then you can go straight ahead and sign up now. So today's offer is a 2-day in-person event with me for $3,997. Plus a 4-day online health energetic masterclass worth $1,600, which will realign all your energies in your body to start to shift your energy. A copy of my self-published leadership book, a guided meditation to support your healing, and access to my VIP Facebook group. Now, the total value of this program is $5,961, but the special offer today only, your investment is $1,997. But if you want to join before the end of this webinar, then you'll receive 3 additional bonuses valued at $6,000. And these 3 bonuses are, the first bonus is a 2-hour one-on-one discovery session with me, which is valued at over $3,000. The second bonus is a chakra clearing, balancing, and activation. So it's an energy healing, which is worth over $300. And the third bonus is for 30 days, you'll have a daily frequency tune-up with me. I'll send it through on email so you can listen to it any time of the day. And you'll have that for 30 days to help activate and balance your energy centers. And that's worth over $2,000. So those bonuses alone are worth almost $6,000. But if you buy today, you'll get the 2-day in-person event. You'll get 4-day online health energetics masterclasses with me. You'll get a copy of my leadership book. You'll have a guided meditation to support healing that you can listen to as often as you want. You'll have access to my private VIP Facebook group and the 3 bonuses. So a 2-hour one-on-one discovery session with me, valued at over $3,000. The bonus 2 is an energy clearing worth over $300. And as I said, the bonus 3 for 5-minute frequency tune-up for 30 days to just stabilize, to settle down your energy, and to really give you that boost. So the total value of this package is $11,800. And today, if you pay today, your investment will be $1,997. So the link is in the chat. And if it's resonating with you, I encourage you to to sign up now, because normally I would my clients would pay over $11,000 for this package, and today you'll get it for just under $2,000. So on the 2-day event, we'll go into the value ladder. We'll look at where you are, where you get to, how we can, what we need to do to help you release your fears and your doubts, to gain your confidence, to align to your wellness blueprint. We'll look at vibration and frequency and how that's affecting you. And we'll look at nutrition and how that can support you as well. And then day 2 we'll continue on that theme, and we'll look at building your energy, moving it into overflow. We'll do lots of work in the quantum field, where you'll start to connect with your infinite potential and pure possibility. So we'll start to show you how you can start to manifest what it is you want in your life, what you desire. We'll also teach you about old patterns and programs and how to release them, how to access the lessons from them, and to rewrite your timeline into one that's much more conducive to health and wellness. And we'll work around what doing business in the new paradigm looks like for you, and share with you some tools to keep you activated, keep you healthy, and to reset your mind and build in your action plan that you would have done with your bonus discovery session with me. The 4-day online masterclass gives you a chance for, before you do the 2-day event, to activate your health. So the masterclass goes through the energy centers in the body, and each day you have a specific activation, clearing, and meditation that's helping you to release heavy energy and make space. So it's kind of like an energetic detox that you'll go over the 4 days. And then another bonus is a guided meditation, which will take you into the quantum field to reset your energy and your blueprint, so that it will start priming you to manifest. So there's lots of energy work there, but the value of a lot of it is you will have it, it's all recorded for you, so you can listen to it as often as you feel you need to. Some people listen to it daily, weekly, monthly. Others will maybe just listen to it, once a year or once every 6 months, depending on what they feel drawn to. But what happens in this offer is that you start to become much more aware of who you are and who you want to be, and really start to reframe yourself with a plan, with clear action steps, with guidance on how to start to manifest, how to create the life that you really want, how to improve your health, how to say no more burnout, and to give yourself permission to have health and to take responsibility for your health, and become so super aware of your thoughts, because we go in and do a lot of neuroscience around the emotions and the frequency that they vibrate at, and how that can improve your health, or how it can improve your health. So let me just recap what you get. You get a 2-day in-person event valued at $4,000. You get a 4-day online masterclass valued at $1,600. A copy of my leadership book at $50. A guided meditation to support your healing at $60. access to my private VIP Facebook group valued at over $200, and bonus one, discovery session with me for a couple of hours valued at over $3,000. Bonus two is um, an energy clearing and balancing, which is valued at over $300. And your bonus three, every day you're going to get an energetic tune up for a part of your body valued at over $2,000. So the total value of the package is over $11,800. And today, there's the special offer for this webinar. For you, it's $1,997. So you've got two options. Option one is do nothing and your life will stay the same. Your health will deteriorate. You'll have less energy, less health, less joy, less fun in your life. Option two, if you jump right in now, click on the link that's in the chat box, sign up, let's work together, and let's get you the results that you deserve, that you're capable of getting, and help you master the 3 key secrets to revamp your health and bring the spark back into your life, career, business, while having the fun, the freedom, and the abundance to enjoy it. And I guess just on closing, ask yourself, how much is your health worth? Because you might be thinking, oh, there's always tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. But I encourage you to ask yourself, what if? What if you could create a healthy life by design now? What would that feel like for you? What if you had an abundance of energy and vitality now? How different would your life feel? What if you could have a better life where the outputs are clarity, passion, fun, freedom, and health, all starting now? Imagine your life like that. And what if you could have joy, happiness, and safety every day of your life? How would that feel? And what if you choose to do life and business differently? Differently as you're aligned, you're balanced. And just feel into that for a moment. And what would that look like for you? What would it feel like for you? And just start to activate those feelings inside you and imagine yourself going from no longer being burnt out, exhausted, fatigued, overwhelmed, isolated, undervalued, and start to feel what it would like to be, to have energy, to play, to have fun, to have passion in what you do, to jump out of bed every morning and be excited for the day ahead. Because this is what the new paradigm of life and business is all about. It's value-based. It's where you live by your values, you live by your integrity, you're balanced, you're aligned. So I ask you, is this your time to make the difference in your life? So it's been a pleasure chatting with you. It's been super fun. If you've got any questions, please pop them in the chat box. I will circle back, and if there is any left in here that I miss. And I look forward to working with you, sharing my genius with you. It's been an eye-opener for me. It's been going from corporate burnout to wellness has probably been the biggest gift that I've given myself. Living testament that I've got more energy, more passion, I have more fun now than I had 10 years ago in my life because I give myself permission to look after myself. I put myself first instead of last, as you do as a mother, as the boss, as a sister, as all of these things, because for some reason we don't value ourselves. So it's time to change that. So thank you for listening. It's been super fun. I love sharing my genius with you all, and I look forward to working with you all soon. Bye for now.